Hey everybody, how are you? It's Peter again for MLB Trade Rumors and Discussions. Today there is still, guys, no updates on MLB. There's nothing in NBA, and I've been staying in the NFL talking about the Cardinals and other teams, and mainly CD Lamb and our draft. But excuse me, I don't have much for you in other sports because nobody knows what's going on yet, and we're going to continue not to know what's going on. So let's stay with the NFL and let's talk two big things today. I'm going to go with the first big thing, which is, I think, very important in any team. There's a rumor that Odell Beckham of the Cleveland Browns will get traded to the Minnesota Vikings. Now, let me explain something. If I'm the Cleveland Browns, if I can get rid of Odell Beckham, I will do it. That guy is not a winner. Okay? He's a diva. He complains about everything. He hasn't been able to stay as healthy as he used to be, and he just has to be the center of attention. If he has a problem with the coach, he has a problem with the quarterback, he has a problem with the players, he has a problem with the media, he has a problem off the field. He just cannot stay out of the media. It's like Antonio Brown, just a lot less, you know? And I can't deal with that if you're a team. Now, if I'm Minnesota, why are you making this trade? Why would you even want him, right? You already have a hot-headed quarterback who has problems with other things. So if you have him, and then you have Beckham, and Beckham's either not getting the ball enough or what, and he starts complaining on the sidelines to Kirk Cousins, and they start going at it, or the worst happens, which I think is always like this. Sometimes you feel you got to get Beckham the ball, right? Sometimes you got to feel just to appease this guy. You're like, you know what? Let me just force it in there, and you know what's going to happen there? Nothing but picks. And Kirk Cousins is known for that. So I don't see that being at all a good fit. And regardless of Beckham, wherever he goes, unless he goes to like New England or a team with a coach who can kind of shape this guy up, it's getting old now. Like his antics, his tired stuff, it's getting old. He went to Cleveland already. He was in the media. All drama. It's just drama with this guy. And let me explain to you a complete opposite player. And I've got to watch him my whole life, and that's Larry Fitzgerald. Larry Fitzgerald not only performs on the field. If anybody had a reason to get traded or wanted to leave, it was Larry Fitzgerald. He has put his blood, sweat, and tears into that team, and he has played with some of the worst quarterbacks you can mention, and on some of the worst teams. If Larry was with a great quarterback, Larry's stats would be through the roof. Okay? Remember some of the years he's played with. If it wasn't for Kurt Warner being so amazing with him on some things and Carson Palmer playing somewhat good, it was rough. I would have loved to see a young Kyler and a young Larry together. That would have been sick. So anyway, but Larry, no matter what, never said anything ever off the field. He just said, hope we get better. I love Arizona. He never complained. Never. And he had every right to. He never showed it because that is what a professional receiver does. Performs on the field, shuts up off the field, and performs for his players, and people respect him for it. That's why I want CD Lamb or a receiver to go watch him, because who's the best to learn from is Larry, and then you have DeAndre on the other side. I mean, that'd be amazing. But anyway, forget about that just for now. But the point I'm trying to say is, you cannot take a risk in a guy like Beckham because he brings so much baggage. You know who he reminds me of? DeMarcus Cousins. A guy who can really play the game. Great scorer, everything. But just can't win because he just can't shut his fucking mouth. And it's a shame because Cousins was an awesome ball player. And you know what? Now he's hurt. Could have took a contract, could have messed up, and nobody really wanted him at one point. Right? Nobody wanted that guy because they knew if we bring this guy in, he's going to fight, get technicals, bring the team down. People made fun of Divac as much as Divac's awful for trading Cousins, but I would have rather Buddy Hield any day. Anyway, that's just me talking about players who are cancers in the locker room. And if you looked at Antonio Brown's situation before he kind of flipped out, everybody talked about Roethlisberger and Tomlin, but nobody knew what was going on completely off the field because they kind of kept it. We knew Brown was a little fancy and stuff, but we didn't know how bad it was. And that they tried their best to push it, but after a while you couldn't. That's why there's always two sides to every story. Last thing I want to talk about fast is for the Arizona Cardinals about trading down or trading up, whatever it is, right? I'm more in favor of, instead of going to go move up a little bit in the draft and get a cornerback or whatever you want to do. I'm more in favor. So say we don't get CeeDee Lamb, which I'm dying for, right? Say we don't get him. Say we do get an offensive line. I'm more in favor of trading that pick then. If you are not going to get CeeDee Lamb, I'd rather trade, go to the 15th, whether you want to trade with the Broncos, the Falcons, or whoever you want to trade with. I'd rather move up there, go for an offensive lineman or a good defender there, get a second round pick, and then you build from there. And then there is good receivers that'll be there later in the third round or fourth round. But that's where I'm like, I don't think we need as many receivers that are later, because now you're just getting a bunch of young players that we don't need. We already have that. I want CeeDee Lamb, who's young and already kind of just like Samuel, because like a grown ass man who is not going to come into there with a learning, like he's just going to come straight in and just be a beast. And he's not going to sit there and need to learn things. He's just going to come in and nothing's going to phase him. That's why I like CeeDee. But I get the idea of trading, and I'm all for that instead of just getting worse, right? I'm instead of getting Thomas or Beckham, whatever you want to say, I'm all for that. That's the truth. I would rather that, because at least you get an extra pick. Like Arizona last year had a lot of picks, and that Isabella pick still haunts me to this day, right? And it haunts a lot of fans, Cardinal fans, because you start saying to yourself, shit, not only did we miss out on this amazing receiver in Metcalf, we also have to play this guy 2 times a year, So anyway, I'm all for Arizona trading, but the good thing is there's options, right? We don't have many days to go. So if you make the trade, if you're gonna get an offensive lineman, a good offensive lineman is still gonna be there, whether it's 14th or 15th, right? Whether it'll be Thomas or Beckham, one of those guys will be there 14th or 15th if you make a trade. That's for sure. You don't necessarily have to get an offensive lineman in the 8th pick. You might as well get another one of those big guys and then go get a second round pick. That's just my opinion. That's what I would do if we're not going to get CeeDee Lamb. Anyway, guys, we'll talk a little bit more tomorrow. I just wanted to make a brief thing about Beckham today. Talk to you tomorrow. Bye.